Okay, time to take a look at the ALLOYMAN digital tape measure. So there it is. It is a 16-foot tape measure, so it's actually a fairly compact tape measure, which is great. You can see on the front we got a couple of magnets, and they're actually strong enough to pull that tape measure out. So that is excellent. Now we can see one very important thing here that I always look for in tape measures, and that it has both inches as well as centimeters. A lot of tape measures that you find only have inches, and if you need to know millimeters, you're going to have to convert that yourself. I also like that all the way up to 6 inches, they actually have this in increments. So if you need to do very fine measuring, you can actually do that. They have it marked out in red for every 10 centimeters, so 10, 20, 30, you can easily see that. And they also have it marked out in red at every foot. There's a nice strong spring to it. And this is properly slotted. So what that means is if we measure on this side, we're going to get an accurate measurement. And then if we pull this out, we're still going to get an accurate measurement. So that's going to make it for the spacing on this guide. It's a somewhat rubbery feeling texture on here. It's got a USB-C port in the back. We got our buttons on the side. It looks like we get a speaker. And then we got our display on the top. So we got on, function, units, and then C or off. So by default, we are in millimeters. That updates very quickly, which is excellent. Okay, so we can see right here, there's a little triangle in the front, so that means we are going to be measuring off of the front. So if I close this up, it is going to be reading 0 millimeters. If I press this quickly, it is going to be measuring from the rear. So it's adding the 82 millimeters from the back to the front. So that way, if we need to butt this up against something, and then we pull this out, we're going to get the total length from the end to the end. If I press and hold, we can change that to centimeters, meters, feet and inches. Oh, that's cool. Feet, inches, and fractions of an inch. That's pretty awesome. And then back to millimeters. That is nice. So what the C is, this is the forced zero. So if we want to, we can pull this out, and then if we want to zero it from there, now we're at 0, and then we can measure from that point forward. So that way, if we're making complex cuts, this can really help us out. Very cool. If we press and hold, it will shut off. And then if we want to save a measurement, we will quickly press the on button. And that way, if we need to make a couple of measurements, we know that the first measurement was 83, the current measurement is 73. Now we can see right here, we have 2 measurements saved. So if I bring that in again, 3, 4, 5. Wow, we're going to save quite a few measurements on here. More than I'm going to be able to even remember what they were for. So that's actually pretty cool. So if we press function, the first function is going to tell us how far we have to get to the half point of whatever our measurement is. So if we're measuring across a wall and we need to know exactly what the half is, we can use that. So for example, 44, that is 22. And if we had 520, 260. So finding half points is very easy with this. Now we can start measuring the area. So for the first measurement, we got 44. We'll save that. And if we got 71, we'll save that. And that tells us the square meters. If we hit function again, we can do the same thing with cubic areas. So we'll say 71, 53, and then a total height of 107. Now we got cubic meters. So very quick way of making measurements. If we press and hold, now we got the menu, so we can see what our previous measurements were. That is neat. So we can just recall everything. Then we got information. We can turn the sound on or off. And we can flip the rotation. So if we want, we can swap this 180. That way, if we're left-handed or we just want to read it from this side, we can do that. So then the last thing, also in the box, we have our charging cable. This is a USB-A to USB-C. To me, my very favorite thing about this right now is just the fact that we got this option right here where we can actually see 1/16 of an inch. So I don't even really have to look at the lines. That is very cool. So if I pull this out randomly, we are at 1 foot. I'll just go ahead and make it 2 feet. 2 feet, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3/8. That is pretty awesome. That is actually an accurate measurement. So yeah, overall, that is a very cool tape measure.